Hi guys, so today's episode is going to be over sensory overload. Why, do you ask? Because I'm having a very sensory overloaded day. I'm sure you can probably tell. I'm exhausted. My hair's a mess. I'm still wearing PJs at 12:30. Anyways, for those of you who aren't familiar with what sensory overload is, basically it's when for people who are autistic or, varying types of neuroatypical or neurodivergent, whichever term you prefer, like if you have a sensory processing disorder or auditory processing disorder, etc. and so forth. There are lots of different ones. But basically it's when you reach the point where your brain can no longer process that sensory input correctly. Basically you reach a point where there's so much coming in that it can't process it anymore. And I know for me personally, auditory overstimulation is pretty much my fastest way to have a meltdown. I'm extremely sensitive to auditory stimulation. I have earplugs, in fact, right here I've been wearing today because I have all 3 babies and they're all very vocal today because they're all in really good moods and really playful, but it causes me literal pain. So, unfortunately, I'm not wearing them for this video because when I'm wearing them, I can't control the volume of my voice, and I don't want to wake up Jim. I can't tell how loud or softly I'm talking when I'm wearing them. So, anyways, I feel like garbage, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so tired and overstimulated, and my body being tired just feeds into that overstimulation because it's just more sensory input for my brain to have to process. And the more tired I am, if I'm not getting enough food or nutrition, just any number of things, any sort of stress your body is under is going to increase that sensory overstimulation. Because if you think about it, your body being stressed, it can even be emotional stress, but the more there is for your brain to have to process, the more likely it is that you're going to get overloaded. For some people, overload might look like sudden, Dizzy's up here, sudden, just irrational anger. It might look like uncontrollable sobbing. That's typically what my meltdowns look like, is just uncontrollable sobbing, where I even lose the ability, to verbalize or speak at all until it's over. Typically my meltdowns don't last very long. They usually only last a few minutes. But the recovery period for those can be anywhere from 24 hours to even longer. So, meltdowns are a whole other video, though, so I won't focus on that too much. But something else that can cause overstimulation is sensory input on your skin. For example, right now I'm actually wearing my socks inside out because I could not handle the sensation of the inside of my socks. Typically, with socks, it's like the inside is rougher for some ungodly reason. I don't know why, but the dogs are also driving me crazy today, just so you know. Anyways, the sensation of the socks on my skin was just itching me really bad. Like the seams, that scratchy part on the inside where it's rougher, can really play havoc with my skin whenever I'm already overstimulated. the seams on my shirts, which is one of the reasons why I haven't gotten dressed yet, because it's, like, not only is there just the process of getting dressed, it's like the more tasks that are involved when I'm already feeling terrible and overstimulated, just the harder it is to get through those tasks. And then I have to find clothes that aren't gonna, aggravate my skin. I'll probably end up in sweatpants today. I really, really hate wearing pants in public, guys. I know that sounds really, really strange, but I am of a religion where ladies don't typically wear pants. Again, I won't elaborate on that, but I really hate wearing pants. I hate that I have days like this where I don't have an option because that's all I can tolerate. And I haven't, this is the first day this week that I'll call them my bad days, for, lack of a better term at the moment. I feel like I'm in just a brain fog. My head hurts really bad from all the noise, and I've been really nauseous today. And part of the noise, because it is actually painful for me, it can cause me to feel really nauseous and super fatigued. And it's just, unfortunately, unless it's something that I can sleep off, which today isn't an option, because I have all 3 babies, I don't really have the option for taking a nap. Jim's got to work tonight, so he's asleep. So it's just me. So there really isn't anyone to watch the babies for me to sleep it off. Sleeping it off helps sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes, even if I go to bed and sleep for 8 hours, which, happens so frequently, really doesn't. Even if I go to sleep and sleep for 8 hours and, wake up feeling okay the next day, it seems like it comes back faster. A lot of times it just kind of builds up and builds up until I melt down, and sometimes melting down is the best way to take care of it, because it's almost like it just keeps building until it reaches meltdown. And yeah, the meltdown sucks, and it takes, another day to recover, but it typically, it's almost like a meltdown is my brain and nervous system's way to reset. So yeah, there's a recovery period, but generally after that recovery period, I do feel better. Unless I am in a situation where, like whenever I was working, I would have a meltdown, and then before I could even have that recovery period, I was having to be back in the next day for my next shift. So I didn't really get recovery periods, which made me just go right back into meltdown. When I was working, before we had Sam, I could have meltdowns. Between the meltdowns and panic attacks, I was having them multiple times a day, and with very little, if no, recovery period in between. There were several times where I was so overloaded and was melting down so frequently that they, twice that I can recall, wanted to call an ambulance, because I was just completely unresponsive. I was unable to just cope with anything, and I couldn't really explain what was going on because I wasn't able to communicate well, if at all, during those periods. Now, if it's a day where I think I'm at all in danger of melting down or becoming overstimulated to the point where meltdown is a possibility, I have a medical alert tag I wear with, if I become unresponsive, generally that unresponsiveness doesn't last very long, but just in case, I have the phone number of an interpreter, because my alternate means of communication is sign language. I have the number of an interpreter on there that they can call. I also have Jim's phone number. I also have a few things on there like, try to avoid touching me, for example, because that can make the overstimulation so much worse because your skin is so sensitive. Light. Light is another big one for me, especially when my body's already stressed. Like, when we're driving, for some reason, I get overstimulated frequently in the car. I guess generally because we're either always going to either the store or to doctor's appointments. So the chances of me getting overstimulated in the car are significantly higher. I guess that's just the way it works. We don't really go out for much else, so occasionally we'll go to the movies, but, usually when there's something good in theaters, but, so light, some of the best ways you can combat overstimulation is to, avoid it altogether. Keep you a calm down kit or a sensory kit, and I'll cover that in maybe the next video. I'll show you kind of some of the things that I have in my calm down kit, which I'm about to go use right now. But sometimes, like with me, a lot of times I don't realize that I'm overstimulated until it's already happening. So that's part of that alexithymia. Even when it comes to overstimulation, it takes me a lot longer to realize how I'm feeling. So if I realize it at all, and for example, when I'm melting down, I don't always know until it's already too late. So, the calm down kit for me, I have one, and I keep it stocked, but it has very, very limited benefits for me because most of the time I don't realize that I'm overstimulated or I'm melting down until it's too late for it to do any good. So another reason why we're looking into medication for me. I'll be honest, I'm kind of nervous about going out already, just super overstimulated. And new environments are always really stressful for me. So, and, I'm going to have to take 2 babies with me, 2 toddlers. And it's going to be horrible. God bless my mom, guys. Like, she's driving me today. And she'll probably watch the babies while I'm in my appointment so I don't have to. Guys, she's awesome. And support groups are so important. Not support groups, but support systems. If your support group is your support system, awesome. But just any sort of support system is so important. It really makes a big difference to have people there. In fact, whenever I tried to film this video, just a little while ago, I had to delete it because halfway through the video, my sister started calling me to check up on me and tell me, hey, you sound pretty rough. Maybe you should, put the kids in the cribs and, go take some time for yourself with your calm down kit. And it's so important to have people that are looking out for you and are there to help you. So, if you're already to the point where you're overstimulated and you can't avoid it, the best thing to do is to, if you need to, utilize that support system. If you have kids, have somebody come and watch your kids. Or if you can't, guys, they're not going to hurt themselves in their bed. If you need some time to yourself, put them in the crib, put some toys in there. If you have TVs in your kids' room, put a movie on for them. Take some time for yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. Your kids might scream, but they are not going to die in their crib. Okay? So, if you're already overstimulated and there isn't someone that can come over and help out, or then a lot of times the best thing to do is just ride it out. Like with meltdowns, once if I try, and usually I can't stop a meltdown, but sometimes if I'm not quite 100% in the meltdown, I can almost bring myself back a little bit, but it almost makes me feel worse if I try and do that, because it's kind of like, it feels like trying to stop a car from moving with your body. So it's just the best thing to do is just ride it out sometimes. Take a nap. If you're already overstimulated, taking a nap, sometimes that gives your body and brain time to reset or, kind of rest itself. So if a calm down kit helps you, utilize your calm down kit. I have big, chunky, industrial size headphones that my trainer friend gave me that I wear at home. I don't like to wear them out in public because they're just super conspicuous. When I'm out in public, I like to wear these, save for the days when I'm so overstimulated I don't care if people are staring at me in the mall. Most of the time, I try and make a point to, if I feel like there's something I need to do that might seem odd in public to people, but is going to help me anyways, I do it. And I make a point to not try and force myself not to, just because people might think it's odd. You shouldn't have to, cut back on the things that are going to help you physically and mentally and emotionally, just because some people might think it looks a little strange. And that's a whole nother video I could do, but I won't get into that today because this video is already almost 18 minutes long. So I'll leave it here, and stay strong, guys. Bye.